Audiences of up to 5,000 people have been dazzled by Hypnotist Romane. He claims to help them quit smoking, lose weight, or lessen their stress. Laurel and Tyler sat down with this internationally renowned personality to find out more about how he does it.
Congratulations. You really are fantastic. You really are fantastic.
Hypnotherapist Romane boasts of helping thousands of people to gain control over their bad habits by using the other 90% of their brain through hypnosis.
We have just one smoke, and I said, stop! Not a single puff, no matter what. And that's exactly how he told it to me.
For decades, Romane has been using his extraordinary powers to empower his audience to change their lives. From losing weight to gaining fame and fortune, Romane says it's available to anyone who wants to make their dreams come true. You might be surprised to hear how young he was when he began to hypnotize. I can't believe you actually started studying this when you were 9 years old.
That's right. I read a little article on hypnosis in a magazine, and I became fascinated. And I remember way back then, I'm 56 now, I ordered a Hypno coin. It was a little plastic disc with a little spiral in it, and I began hypnotizing my little 2-year-old brother at the time. And I was 9, he was 2. And
did your mom know?
I don't think she knew too much about it. I had an old Revox reel-to-reel tape recorder, and I taped a hypnosis induction on it. And at the time, I said to him, if you lay on the bed for a couple of hours, imagine a 2-year-old, I'll give you some candy. So he would lay there, and today he's one of the most successful businessmen in Canada, thanks to my hypnosis.
You take all the credit for that. So then you began moving to your friends at school.
That's right. The first fellow I hypnotized, and he's living in Sudbury today, Helmut Schollmeyer, German boy. He was about, I guess, maybe 13 or 14. I was about 12 or 13 at the time. And we hypnotized him to do better in schoolwork. But unfortunately, it was too late. He failed the year. We came too late. But I remember when I hypnotized him and another fellow, Brian, one time, Brian Cutts in Winnipeg, they were in a fight in a house, and I just snapped my fingers like that, and they fell to the ground because I'd conditioned them to go into hypnosis instantly because I wanted to stop the fight. So anyway, after I trained them to go into hypnosis by the word Spanish Armada, because I'd read a book at the time where someone had used those words, so I thought, why not? I'll try it out. And as I was at Vince Shintag's house there in Winnipeg, we were probably a good 60, 70 feet from Helmut. And I whispered to Vince, I said, these words are Spanish Armada, is how I could hypnotize him again, just me. And I whispered it very quietly, but because the subconscious is so sensitive to sounds, he went into hypnosis, which I didn't know. I went home, went to go to bed. It was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. The phone rings. Come and wake Helmut up. He went into hypnosis. And so I had to go back, and did I get heck from my parents the next morning for their phone call late at night.
That is fascinating. So how did you train him to go under hypnosis? Like, had he already worked with you?
Well, at the time, we had gone to see Ravine the hypnotist, and Helmut went on stage, and he was rejected as an unlikely subject for the show. But Helmut came back a little dazed into the old Winnipeg auditorium, which had 4,200 seats. We were sitting in the balcony. And as Helmut came back, he sat on a gentleman's fedora, flattened it, and the man wasn't too impressed. But after that, I would just say, your eyes are growing heavy, heavy like lead, and I'd imitate Ravine's voice, and he went into hypnosis like that. So that's the first person I hypnotized by imitating Ravine's voice.
So is hypnotism a gift, or is it a learned craft?
Anyone can learn it. I could teach someone how to hypnotize someone in 5 minutes. They wouldn't be very good at it, but they could learn the basics in 5 minutes how to hypnotize. I got to tell you an interesting research study which is very current. Psychologists had 2 groups. One they did a hypnosis induction with and called it hypnosis. Another one they did a relaxation induction, which was the same as the hypnosis induction, but they called it relaxation instead of hypnosis. The people in the relaxation group went deeper into hypnosis because they weren't sitting there thinking, am I in hypnosis? Is it working? I hope it's working. When will it work? Please work. Why doesn't it work? So people often have a fear of failure, that they're not going to be hypnotized, and they're so busy thinking of that, they don't get hypnotized. You take it away and you just say, I'm going to relax you, which is a disguised form of hypnosis. Then they go into hypnosis very quickly. Hypnosis is like daydreaming. It's like driving your car for miles, saying, how did I get there? It's like driving past the exit you meant to take. It's like reading 3 or 4 pages of a book and saying, I can't remember what I just read. Drifting into a trance, and that's called forgetting, amnesia, remember? And you can remember to forget or forget to remember. The entire hypnosis induction is what they actually do, too.
But sometimes hypnotists can get you to do crazy things that it's not just like driving to, your home and you can't even remember passing that street you must have passed. You have done ridiculous things, barked like a dog.
Yes.
What is that?
Well, I used to do the hypnosis shows in the 60s, 70s, up to about 81. I think I did about 2 after that. That was it. But we would have people become Elvis Presley, and we'd have the people become Tarzan, and all types of personalities. And they'd leave the stage and they say, I'd never do that normally. I felt so confident, so relaxed on the stage. It's a little bit of an effect like alcohol. It takes away inhibitions. The people will leave the stage and you'll say, how do you feel? I feel like $1 million. How do you feel? I feel like I'm on top of the world. How do you feel? I feel so confident. I was in front of 1,000 people or more, and I felt relaxed. I could never do that normally. And in hypnosis, the brain is relaxed. You take somebody who stammers and stutters every day, they can't say their own name, put them into hypnosis. Boom, they speak clear as a bell normally.
Do these people remember it then after they've been on stage and they've done these things? Sometimes I've heard that there's people that don't remember.
Well, sometimes they'll forget parts. Sometimes they'll forget all. It depends how deep they are in hypnosis. Generally, people at my hypnosis seminars will forget parts, they'll remember parts, but they won't know they forgot what they forgot, as they say. So the suggestions go right on working in the subconscious. They can't resist them because they don't know they're there consciously. They're in the subconscious, under consciousness, and that gives them the power. They will think that they're hypnotized a lot less time than they really were because of the fact that they've forgotten a lot of the session.
Now, Romane, you're a good man. From all that I've read and seen, you are using this ability to help people. Is there a possibility that somebody could learn this art and use it for evil?
Well, you're going into the area of the cults here. They use techniques which are somewhat related to hypnosis, but even more powerful. Perhaps they'll deprive you of food. Perhaps they'll lock you up in a place where you can't leave for a long time. They'll give you confusing doctrine. They'll do all kinds of things involving group support and chanting and so on. No sleep and on and on and on. But the hypnotic techniques generally, I would say, as a rule, you can't force someone to do things that they don't really want to do. There's always a part of the brain that says, hey, I'm aware, I'm conscious, I know what's going on, I can resist this if I have to. But if you get someone who's very weak-willed and you hypnotize them to commit a crime, well, they'd probably do it without the hypnosis. They're that type of person. Maybe they have an unethical mind to begin with. But I would say no. Hypnosis is generally working best with those who want the change. We discussed this one time where we noticed that if people really want to stop smoking, they're more likely to stop. And if they don't want to stop, it's going to be harder to motivate them.
And I figured I'd take a quick smoke to relax. Do cigarettes relax? Yes, of course they do. The reason they relax is they deaden nerve endings. Not a good way to relax.